There is a special request from the Dean, led by our resource speaker. So may I reiterate our request for our cadets over there at the right side portion of this hall to please occupy the tables here in the middle. Otherwise, we cannot start our session. We would like to remind once again that evaluation forms were distributed earlier on, and you are requested and encouraged to fill in the forms, and the staff will collect them on your way out should you leave the plenary hall at the end of this session. As we now go to our final topic for today, on HIV AIDS and Living with HIV, to be delivered by a public health practitioner who for the last 17 years has worked for a number of international organizations in implementing a reproductive HIV AIDS program. He is presently working as a global HIV AIDS coordinator for the International Transport Workers Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Asik Altif.
Good afternoon. How are you? I'm a trainer by training. I took my first training as a trainer 17 years back. And I've seen that the most difficult session we pass in the day is the last session of it. And we call it a graveyard slot. And that's why I make sure that we have young people in front of us, because they're the most energetic and enthusiastic. So we are very happy that our young cadets are here. Because I think this is a unique event we are all participating, and we should enjoy this event. You know? We are not here to be here. We are here because we feel a passion for it. We are here for a cause. We are here to take message back to our friends, to our family members. As our moderator mentioned, I'm Dr. Asik. I work for the International Transport Worker Federation. As Stuart mentioned, we represent 4.5 million transport workers all over the world. And when we say transport workers, it's truck drivers, airplane captains, cabin crews, seafarers, fishermen, bus drivers, railway workers, everybody. When I saw the program, and I saw I had 1 hour time, I was very tempted to speak for 1 hour, talk, because you know that everybody likes a microphone. In front of the microphone, we want to talk. But I thought instead of me talking a long time, it would be good to have a group of people speaking and sharing stories, sharing experience. Because our life is a story. Our life is of experience. And I personally feel as a public health person working on HIV, we all have a story to share. We all have experience to tell. I want to take, when I got this program and when I saw 1 hour time, I had a long discussion with the organizer. Can I have a different way of speaking and facilitate this session? And they're kind enough to accept that my proposal. So I will request my special guest one by one to come here and sit in the dais and to share their experience, share their story. First, I request Margot from the ILO, who is the executive focal point from ILO Philippines. I will request Margot to come and sit in the dais. I will request Diva Liman Bugisa, who is the South Asian ICSW coordinating the whole region. I request the put to be on the dais. Then we have 2 very special guests with us. We have Christina, who is the secretary of Baby Plus, an organization which works for the positive women in the Philippines, who is also spouse of a seafarer living positively, and she's courageous enough as a public advocate who doesn't share his experience, her experience. We have also ego, a young leader, I say a young champion, who travels all over the world and talk about young people living HIV AIDS and share their experience. Before I request my guests to share their story, let me share my story first. When I was a kid, like when I was 4 and 5, I used to live in a port city called Chittagong. I think some of the speakers know about it. It's a port city in Bangladesh, where I come from. And when I was a kid, I always loved to go to the port area. There's not much security at that time how we had. So I used to drive with my dad used to drive me there around the port area. I would see ships on the port. I feel so fascinated that, oh my God, these people are so lucky, moving from one country to another. Such a fun job. And in my imagination, I always thought that it's a very interesting and fun job. And I was really jealous of those people. And because I could not ever went up and talk to the seafarers, I could not understand their life. Then my story moved on. I got a little older, I go to medical school, then I go to university for my public health degree. So I lost my dream or imagination of a seafarers. I was busy with other things. And then 6 years back, I joined ITF as the HIV coordinator. Then I'm working in the head office in London. And I start working with the transport workers. And very much secret, all the people sitting in this room have a connection to seafarers. When I talk to them, I realize it's not a fun job. Seafaring is not a fun job. So there's a challenging thing. Then I thought about my childhood that, I was jealous of the seafarers because they are fun, going from one country to another, they see all the world. But when I talked to them, when I was working for the ITF, I thought, I was not right, it's not a fun job. There's got lots of stress, it's always associated with packing, it's always isolation from the family, because I know as a married man that how difficult it is to be out of the family. And most of the people are married or engaged or has got their boyfriend or girlfriend. So I didn't realize the difficulty a seafarer goes through during his or her life. So surely my conception as a child, a fun job, turned into a really difficult job, challenging job. And as a HIV coordinator for the ITF, I thought I should try to help these transport workers, seafarers, so that their life becomes a little better. I cannot change their lives. I can help or contribute in their way of living. And so I studied my public health degree and reading through the literature. I saw that HIV rate among transport workers are higher than general population. We talked about truck drivers, we talked about seafarers, we talked about fishermen. In all the countries, including Philippines, HIV rate among seafarers and transport workers are higher than general population. It's a reality, we cannot ignore it. Either we acknowledge it or we don't, that's our own choice. All the figures shows in Philippines, especially overseas Filipinos, among overseas Filipino workers, HIV is higher. I was reading an article yesterday in the local newspaper, The Sun. It says in the month of June 2011, the number of new cases in the Philippines is highest in the history of Philippines HIV epidemic. So HIV is around us. Either we acknowledge or don't, but it is around us. When we talked about HIV, first thing we talked about behavior. We try to correlate HIV and behavior very quickly without thinking anything. HIV positive behavior. He's going for a test. She's going for a test. Behavior. I think it's not correct. HIV it's not only a behavioral issue. HIV is a social issue. HIV is a workplace issue. So it should be a way of stigmatizing people if you look at the behavior. I couldn't just think myself, there's no set limit. Like when I was eating my lunch, I tried to be vegetarian. This is my choice. It took me half an hour for the waiter to give me a vegetarian dish because there is a menu. But think about our behavior. Do you have a behavior menu? Can you choose a menu from a set behavior menu? I want this behavior. He said, I want this behavior. You cannot choose our behavior. You cannot. Most of the time, our behavior is controlled and influenced by our work. We want to hear your story.
Good afternoon, everyone. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. First, I want to thank Dr. Asim for inviting me here. So my name is Igor, and I'm actually a nurse by profession, but I'm not practicing clinical nursing, but I'm doing a public health work for young people. And so I'm also the youth coordinator for the Youth Voices Count of the World AIDS campaign. At the same time, I work as a board of director and a member from the Philippines for the Youth Coalition for Sexual and Reproductive Health and for Sexual and Reproductive Rights. While here in the Philippines, I work with what we call Youth AIDS Filipinas Alliance. It's the only youth-led organization working for HIV and AIDS for young people who are actually composed of both young people living with HIV, at the same time, those who are what we call gay-affected populations. When we say gay-affected populations, those are the populations that are highly affected or vulnerable to HIV. Okay, so how did I get involved with HIV? Actually, it was in 2006 when I was in my third year in college when I found that I'm HIV positive. So by the time I was 19 years old, and I was taking my Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And during my time, there were only, it's really hard to find people who are HIV positive, or it's hard to find support group or any organization who work in HIV AIDS. You cannot really find them in a telephone directory. But then, having a background of health and nursing, somehow it helped me to overcome my situation. And that lead me to work with a national organization working for HIV, which we call Positive Action Foundation Philippines Incorporated. And that organization gave me an opportunity for me to work in HIV and AIDS. And actually, AMOSO is very familiar to me because I conduct HIV and AIDS lecture for Department of FWs, particularly seafarers in 2007 and 2008. And during that time, I was the only young person who involved in HIV and AIDS. And most of my colleagues are overseas Filipino workers, are above 30 years old. And it's kind of hard to be alone at the same time to be young with needs. Yet, you have to mingle with older people, with adults. But somehow it was an experience for me, and it actually led me to do a lot of advocacy work. And it gave me an opportunity to actually study in the United States, which I was there to do my Master of Public Health, and I finished it last year. So now I'm back here in the Philippines to do some public health work. And by the time, there was actually no organization that worked for young people. And it is very sad because at this time, 1/3 of the HIV registry are young people ages 15 to 24. And if you will ask me, right now with YAFA, with my organization, we're taking care of 60 young people living with HIV, aged 30 years old and below. And these young people were diagnosed by the end of 2010 to 2011. And they are very, very young. I mean, if you compare to previous years,